We earn money, save money and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. In this program you will know about souvenirs taken by tourists from Kazakhstan, where we can learn to manufacture musical instruments for free, and why a restaurant keeper from New York employs only old women. These are our new products, camel hair waistcoats. Of course, nowadays there is a great demand for them. They're expensive because we buy camel hair, wash it, clean it, remove these fibers and finally dry it. This is a set of clothes for youth. Trousers, shirt and jacket. Just look how interesting it is. It is two-sided and you can put it in every way. The cut is also very interesting. Makbal Abdelmanova calls herself the successor to the business of her grandmother, who sewed, shaped and modeled national clothing all her life. Since the age of 5, Makbal was observing how her grandma could do a masterwork from a piece of cloth. Gradually, she trained her granddaughter as clothes designer. I was born with this thought. My grandmother brought me up and taught me. In our village, she was an artist, clothes designer and dress cutter. Makbal has been making clothes for 54 years. 40 of them she has been running a fashion center. The woman remembers that during this time her company experienced many hardships. However, she managed to overcome all changes and continued working. During this time, we passed through many crises and reforms, but we knew nothing about their specifics. The only thing we knew is that we had to overcome those difficulties and continue to work. There were a lot of difficulties. However, we forgot about them like about any bad thoughts.
Больше, знаете, трудности, все вот эти плохие воспоминания забываются.
This tailor shop has been making national clothes for many years. The main goal for Makbal and her enterprise are, firstly, to make every costume unique and avoid making ornaments of the same type. Secondly, to produce clothes of high quality. And thirdly, and most importantly, to demonstrate to young people how their ancestors dressed and preserved these traditions for future generations. We did not dictate them to wear exclusively Kazakh clothes, for example, camisoles or chapans. We should develop our clothing and at the same time preserve its main national elements. Next generations should know the origin of our clothes and dressing culture. So my objective is to impart knowledge to our successors about clothes of our ancestors and then make young people promote our dressing culture. Makbal remembers that some time ago the demand for costumes was not so high. As a rule, people ordered national-style clothing for special events. However, over the last years the situation has changed and young people are increasingly becoming the center's customers.
В первых порах одевались они на праздники. Но и сейчас больше, да. Ну, на Урыс там еще.
At first, people put on such clothes during holidays, such as Nowruz, but now I am glad to see that more and more young people, for example brides and grooms, dress according to national traditions. The Kazakh people like holidays, special events and gifts very much. Doing this way, we make our national traditions more popular.
Все наши подарки, которые мы вот именно стараемся к этому, как сказать, приближаться и помогать, то есть показать вот именно национальные такие вот вещи.
Despite the extensive experience in this area, Makbal is not complacent. Every time she tries to improve her technology and offer her customers high-quality items with a long service life.
Мы, например, раньше просто делали вышивки, все. Мы сейчас все вот эти...
Earlier, for example, we only specialized in embroideries. In order to make our clothing resistant to cleaning and dry cleaning, we trim edges and use only durable materials.
Материалов, которые, чтобы завтра она не пришла в негодность. Вот именно, что она была носимая, а не на один день. Вот сегодня поносил и завтра выбросил.
The main customers of the fashion center are dancing bands. At the same time, national costumes of Kazakhstan are also well known abroad. A lot of local residents who go to foreign countries order such things as souvenirs.
Мы гордимся своей профессией.
We are proud of our profession because there are only few of us. We can say that we internalize each thing because each national piece of clothing differs from those we made before.
Вещь, которую мы делаем, он должен отличаться от того, который мы вчера делали.
Foreign visitors are also keen to take with them Kazakh national costumes, especially chapans. National customs and traditions have always been drawing attention of tourists throughout the world.
Вот этот вот модель, то есть чапан, это авангардная. С одной стороны...
This is an innovative chapan, but it is made in terms of national ethnography. Here you can see elements of history and our designer's fantasy. This is a very colorful chapan with a beautiful hat.
Это очень богатый, красивый чапан. И здесь вот головной убор.
And Kazakhstan is not an exception. Guests of the country not only buy up various souvenirs, but visit ethnographic villages, national reservations, historical monuments and museums. The development of tourism in the country also affects the production of national souvenirs. Over the last decade, the flow of foreign visitors in Kazakhstan has tripled. The number of manufacturers of souvenirs and national costumes has also increased. Prices of memorable gifts in Kazakhstan vary from 200 to 50,000 tenge. Some experts evaluate this market at $3 million. In most cases, tourists in Kazakhstan prefer to buy local sweets, t-shirts, caps with various inscriptions, felt slippers, as well as refrigerator magnets, cups and trinkets in the form of dombra or yurt. Tourists also take interest in national jewelry. Their prices begin from 10,000 tenge and upwards. It is worth noting that residents of Kazakhstan now buy more jewelry not only as gifts, but also for family celebrations. National style earrings, bracelets and rings are very popular among the local youth.
So, wie heißt das jetzt?
Students of this college in Almaty are taught to manufacture music instruments for many years. The workshops are fitted with all necessary equipment. At the beginning, young craftsmen are taught to make national souvenirs such as kolbez or dombra. Only after that they are permitted to manufacture full-fledged instruments.
Бізде бұл мамандықта студенттер оқу тегін.
In our college, students get education for free thanks to the government assistance. Our workshop has all necessary equipment. Students get theoretical and practical knowledge. Primarily, they manufacture souvenir instruments because they need to know the structure of each instrument. After that, they are taught to manufacture larger instruments.
Жеткілікті материалдарда мысалы қажетті бұйымдарға ал студенттердің мысалы оқып үйрену жағына келетін болсақ,
most of students who learn in the college for free are children from large families, boarding schools and those who came here from remote villages. After obtaining a diploma, graduates are entitled to open their own workshops or work in places where they did practical training. According to the teacher, the number of such workshops is growing because the demand for high-quality national instruments never decreases.
Ең көп сұраныс сол домбыра аспаптары, сосын мектеп жасындағы домбыра деп айтсақ болады.
There is a demand for such things. However, it is not very high. Dombra is the most popular souvenir. It is followed by jetegen, kolkobez and prima kolbez. Many people order wind instruments. We hold all the instruments made by our students. In our college, we founded the Ensemble of National Instruments. There is also the museum where we store crafts of our students. We highly appreciate these works.
Бізде қалада жасалынған бұйымдардың бәрі осы колледжімізде, шеберханамызда, өзіміздің стенд дейміз, мұражайымыз дейміз, сол жерде қалады.
The state makes efforts to support many economic sectors. Therefore, manufacturers of national costumes, souvenirs and instruments are not left out unattended. Thus, for instance, in late 1990s, Makpal Abdelmanova's enterprise faced financial difficulties. At the same time, the loan given to her by the government saved her from bankruptcy.
Мы же давно работаем. Вот 98 год самый тяжелый.
We have been working here for a long time. For us, 1998 was the most difficult year and the state provided us a 10% loan. It was targeted for light industry enterprises. We were exempted from VAT for 1 year, which allowed us to recover our enterprise. We were the first to receive a 10% loan. For comparison, interest rate at that time was 30 to 35%.
Вот. И год мы не платили НДС. Представляете, это как нам помогло?
After that, the fashion center was supported by Damu Fund. Unlike many other entrepreneurs, Makpal avoided the problem of staff shortage, and it was Roadmap which helped her in this matter. The program aims at providing training for young specialists.
По дорожной карте, вот которые сейчас.
All our specialists practice here under Roadmap program. They had been receiving the government allowance for half a year and then continued to work at our enterprise. Roadmap helps us very much. Thanks to it, we provide training for new specialists.
В этом отношении дорожная карта нам очень помогает. И мы каждый год, в общем-то, набираем вот так специалистов, и они нам помогают.
Small and medium-sized businesses in Kazakhstan are supported not only by the state but also by major international financial organizations. Thus, for example, this year, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development allotted $60 million for small and medium businesses support. At the same time, $10 million from the above-mentioned sum will be assigned to enterprises founded or headed by women. In developed countries, production and sale of national-style items bring entrepreneurs good profits. For example, the most popular souvenirs in the United Kingdom are those with the image of Queen Elizabeth II. However, calculating the amount of sales would be a difficult task, all because some goods are imported illegally and are manufactured not in the UK but in China. Nonetheless, in 2012, analysts of a research company decided to fix the profit of such souvenir sellers during the celebration of the 60th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's coronation. The forecasted was quite impressive and made up £196 million sterling. In 2012, the most popular souvenirs in the UK, the 60th anniversary of Queen's coronation, were coins and medallions with her image. They are followed by cups and teapots with relevant symbols. And in the US, the national flag is considered the best memorable gift. Notably, the Americans themselves often buy it. This is driven by a high level of patriotism. About 150 million flags to the amount of $300 million are sold in the US every year. A great number of items with national symbols are available in Italy. Among them are carnival masks, memo pads, candles and many others. Unique souvenirs are sold in each resort town. In fact, there are gifts to suit any pocket. However, handmade souvenirs are particularly valuable. They can be made of fabric or wood and depict fairy tale characters, for example, Pinocchio. The minimum price of such souvenirs is €200. Japan draws tourists from all over the world not only by technological innovations but by traditions which have been preserved to the present day. In simple words, every self-respecting tourist is obliged to visit a tea ceremony. This is not just tea drinking but a real art. It requires to place a teaspoon to a cup and add fresh boiling water. Then the mass is beat with a bamboo whisk. The whole procedure is carried out slowly and without any fuss. In Japan, there are such souvenirs which are taken by almost all tourists. One of them is maneke neko. This is a figurine which depicts a cat beaconing with an upright paw. It symbolizes luck and well-being. Traditional Japanese kimono is also popular for foreign visitors. Yukata is a summer kimono sold almost everywhere. This garment is usually worn with geta, traditional Japanese footwear. A restaurant keeper from New York employs unusual cooks. elderly ladies from different parts of the world work in the kitchen of his restaurant. In such a manner, the menu is updated by exotic dishes from various countries. The staff consists of professional cooks, old women from 30 states, including France, Turkey, Syria, Nigeria, Venezuela, and so on. There is also an old woman who's responsible for preparation of pasta and ravioli. This restaurant has been working for 10 years. During this time, it has become well known almost all over the world. And last year, the restaurant published a book with unique recipes from old women.